Good afternoon, and welcome back to RMU-Live for Friday, September 14. I'm Sonu Babu.
And I'm Andrew Ostrowski. Here's what's happening now. We have two breaking news stories. Cardinal Wuerl is stepping down and amid sexual abuse allegations.
And Hurricane Florence has been downgraded to a Category 1.
Following the report of sexual abuse in 6 dioceses in Pennsylvania, Cardinal Donner Wuerl has announced that he will step down in a letter on the Archdiocese of Washington's website. Wuerl says that as part of the beginning of healing, the Archdiocese would be well served by new leadership.
Hurricane Florence made landfall on the Carolina coast at 7:30 this morning. Downgraded from a Category 4 to a Category 1 on Thursday, there are still warnings of major flooding and high winds throughout the weekend and into next week. The National Hurricane Center urged the residents in the affected areas to evacuate.
President Trump is receiving heavy criticism on his recent comments about work done in Puerto Rico, saying it was a, quote, incredible unsung success, unquote, and a, quote, unappreciated great job, unquote. It has been 1 year since Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico, devastating the island. An estimated $90 billion in damages occurred as the result of the hurricane.
Pennsylvania is sending 25 National Guard troops and equipment to help with Hurricane Florence recovery efforts. On Thursday, Governor Tom Wolf said there were also 6 technicians and 4 helicopters for rescue and recovery efforts.
An RMU professor won the retaliation case against the school this week. Dr. Jean Baugh, a computer and information system professor, sued in 2016 on multiple claims that included sex discrimination, hostile work environment, and retaliation. Dr. Baugh was awarded $10,000 in punitive damages.
Foligno Construction will be repaving 2 roadways starting at University Boulevard to Berry Center. Safety flaggers will be maintaining the traffic.
A fire in New Kensington started in a building on 9th Street between 4th Avenue and Ivy Alley. The fire tore through the block, destroyed 2 buildings, and damaging another 2. There were several businesses destroyed, including Walt's Deli, Impressive Beauty and Barbershop, and Liberty Tax. There's no source of the fire cause yet.
After neighbors made gay slurs against Penn Hills couple, they painted a part of their house with the colors of the rainbow, representing the gay pride flag. Sharon Lau and her wife also have plans to paint the front of the house to show their pride.
Pennsylvania state senators and representatives plan to introduce 6 to 8 bills that will make a statewide database to track officer misconduct, a use of force policy for all police departments, and cultural awareness training for officers. These reforms are in response to the fatal shooting of Antoine Rose that occurred in June. Mac Miller's funeral services are reported to be held in Pittsburgh. The rapper died on an apparent overdose, but an official cause of death has not been determined yet. No official plans for a funeral have been released.
An active shooter drill with sounds of gunshots was scheduled on Thursday at Bethel Park High School. Blanks will be fired in place of real bullets. Parents raised concern over having this realistic shooter drill. Nanette Adams expressed concerns over the psychological issues that would affect the students. Bethel's principal sent out an email stating that police officers would not shoot at the students, but gunshots would be heard throughout the school.
A gunman in Bakersfield, California has committed a murder-suicide on Wednesday evening, killing 5 people before killing himself. 54-year-old Javier Cazares fired shots in his workplace, T&T Trucking, killing his ex-wife, Petra D. Caceres, and Manuel Contreras, before moving out of the scene and killing 3 others. Kern County Sheriff Donnie Youngblood reports that the shooting is more than a dispute between husband and wife. Now, this incident has been characterized as a domestic violence tragedy. The retail store Target plans to increase hiring around the holidays this year by 120,000 people, a 20% increase from last year. Target will be holding hiring events at stores in October. On Thursday, Volkswagen announced the cancellation of the Classic Beetle next year. The head of Volkswagen America said are no plans to replace the Beetle. There will be two special edition Beetles, the Final Edition SE and the Final Edition SEL.
For all you need to know about news, sports, and arts and entertainment at RMU and around the Pittsburgh region, visit rmucenturymedia.com.
Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Mercedes has announced their first all-electric vehicle. Find out when you get behind the wheel after the break. Gas line explosions have ripped through a North Boston community. The explosions forced 3 towns to be evacuated, with at least one person dead and 10 hospitalized. Investigators have no ideas to the cause behind the explosions.
A South Carolina woman and her 7 rescue dogs could not evacuate Hurricane Florence until a crowdfunding campaign hosted by Kate Zenna rented her a truck to reach her family in Tennessee. 16 people contributed a generous $5,200 to make this heartwarming rescue happen.
Mercedes-Benz has announced their first all-electric SUV called the EQC. The EQC will have an estimated range of 279 miles. Mercedes has not announced pricing, but the new cars will go on sale in the United States in 2020.
Tesla loses Justin McNear, Vice President of Worldwide Finance and Operation. McNear is leaving to become the Chief Financial Officer for another company, which was not revealed. Chief Accounting Officer Dave Morton and Chief People Officer Gabby Tolandio have also recently announced their leave. Despite skepticism, McNear denies any rumor that he has left Tesla with ill feelings.
2 United States fighter jets intercepted 2 Russian bomber planes near the west coast of Alaska. The Russian planes were in international airspace at the time and never entered U.S. or Canadian airspace. This is the second time U.S. fighter jets have intercepted Russian bomber planes near Alaska this month.
The United States reaches a historic milestone as the world's largest producer of oil, beating both Saudi Arabia and Russia. Texas is the largest contributor of oil in the United States currently because of production in the Permian Basin. At 11 million barrels of oil per day, the U.S. is ahead of Russia since 1999.
In an attempt to catch up to Chinese drone manufacturing powerhouse, DJI, 2 American startup companies have announced new drones. Impossible Aerospace, whose new drone has 2 hours of flight time, and Skydio, who has made a drone that autonomously follows its user.
2 girls died after undergoing female genital mutilation in Somalia. They bled for 24 hours afterwards and died on the way to the hospital. Hawa Aden Mohammed, director of Somalia's women's rights group, advocates against this deadly practice and has also undergone this tragic procedure.
A group of Kenyan girls called the Resorters have created an app to help girls who have faced the threat of genital mutilation. iCut will connect girls to medical and legal assistance.
A 35-year-old man may be getting a 5-year sentence after drunkenly firing his shotgun in his apartment. Nathan Matthias from Reading, Pennsylvania, admits to using his gun because he believed there were clowns inside his apartment. Police say the incident put Matthias's neighbor in danger. Matthias has since apologized since the shooting. West Philadelphia Office of Books Through Bars has halted the distribution of books to inmates after the Department of Corrections announced a statewide lockdown to stop drugs from coming into prisons. Director of Policy Diana Woodside says that inmates will have access to ebooks instead, but prisoners are worried about affording the costs that come with ebooks. Books Through Bars is planning legal action to reinstate the free books program.
Environmentalist activists in Germany are resisting attempts by police in removing tree houses in the Hambach forest. RWE, an energy corporation in Europe, owns the forest. Between 150 and 200 activists live in the forest, living in 60 to 70 of the oldest trees. RWE is planning to clear part of the forest to maintain mining operations for the next 2 years.
A French art school in Lyon was accused of photoshopping their students to make them appear darker. The Amel Khan Art School has apologized since the incident.
The Spix's macaw, a Brazilian blue bird, is now extinct. This species is now one of 8 extinct birds. The Spix's macaw was a feature in the 20th Century Fox animated film Rio. 4 Steelers have been announced for nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2019. Guard Alan Faneka, wide receiver Hines Ward, safety Thomas Everett, and coach Bill Cowher were the 4 Steelers announced. Also among the 102 finalists are cornerback Ed Reed and tight end Tony Gonzalez.
When we come back, we will go to Ryan Giacobbe for sports and Dom Merlo for the weather. Be sure to tune in to our other shows. RMU Live Mondays at 1 p.m. and Fridays at noon, Sports Talk in the Berg, and RMU Tonight Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and Colonial Sports Center Thursday at 9:30 p.m. here on RMU-TV.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after our performance is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. The Pittsburgh Pirates played the St. Louis Cardinals on Wednesday night, picking up a 4-3 victory over the Redbirds. Jameson Tyone threw 7+ innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The Pirates played tonight in the first game of a 3-game set against the Milwaukee Brewers at Miller Park. First pitch is scheduled for 8:10 p.m. The Pittsburgh Steelers played to a 21-21 tie to the Cleveland Browns this past Sunday in a rainy game. James Conner had 31 carries for 135 yards and scored 2 touchdowns, while Antonio Brown had a 22-yard drive and a touchdown. The Steelers come home this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. against the Kansas City Chiefs at Heinz Field. The Pittsburgh Penguins have officially started training today at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. The Penguins start their season against the Washington Capitals on Thursday, October 4th from PPG Paints Arena here in Pittsburgh. Turning the attention to RMU sports, the football team played last night against the James Madison University Dukes in a very lopsided game and lost to the Dukes 73-7. The only RMU touchdown was scored by Terrence Stevens in the fourth quarter. Robert Morris plays on the road against the Bryant University Bulldogs in Week 4 on September 22nd at 1 p.m. Moving on to volleyball. The volleyball team played this past Tuesday in the final match of the Charm State Challenge against the Youngstown University Penguins, winning the match 3-1, where Emma Granger had 18 kills, 5 aces, and 4 blocks. The Colonials play again today at 4 p.m. in the first game of the RMU Sheraton Invitational. The men's soccer team continues their winless run after they lost to the Bucknell University Bison in overtime this past Wednesday, when Bucknell player Bernie Wright scored the game winner for the Bison on a breakaway goal. The men's soccer team will continue for their first win when they return home to face the LaSalle University Explorers this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. Women's soccer broke a 6-game losing streak against Youngstown University with a 2-0 shutout. Goalie Julia Schmid provided a 7-save performance, while forward Jane Schleicher scored both goals in the first half for Robert Morris. The women's team returns to action later today at home at 4 p.m. against the Akron University Zippies. Now let's go over to Dom for...
Bob Merlo presenting you with your weekly weather. First of all, for today, we're going to have a high of 83 and a low of 66. Rather summer-like weather and not really truly reflecting the hurricane status that's going through the rest of America. Only a 10% chance of rain and a 66% chance of humidity. 66% humidity. Throughout the rest of this week, on Saturday, we're only having a 1-degree change, really. Sunday, still summer-like weather, very comfortable kind of range with the temperature. Monday is when the real hurricane hits, and we've got a 60% chance of rain, scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, especially in the morning. And on Tuesday, got a little bit of rain, high is 76, low is 64. Still pretty comfortable, though. That's this week's 5-day weather. I'm Don Merlo.
And that is all we have for today. Thank you for joining us on RMU Live.
We will see you next week.